Okay, so I went ahead and glued those down, and I'm just putting these in there to remind me. Now take that one out so you can see. I think it came out really cute. I'm so sorry. I did want to use this, but I'm going to frame it. And I think I'm going to frame it with this pink or possibly this side. But I have made my measurements because I'm going to cut 4 of them at a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut 2 inches down, 2 inches over and cut down. And then I'll cut this little section across the 2 inches. And then I'm going to cut out my strips. Something like that. I might just cut out my strips this way. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do because I think it'll be a better use of paper. So, I just got to figure out where my 1/2 inch is because that's one thing this cutter does not do really well is give me a 1/2 inch. Okay, so let's just say I've got it right there. I'm going to cut the first one down. And I'm going to move it another 1/2 inch. So now I should be at the 1 inch mark, which is right here. I'm going to do it again. And then 1.5 inch mark. Do it again. And the 2 inch mark. And do it again. So this is what I'm ending up with. A couple of them I went a little too far. And then I'm just going to cut them off. Oh, gotta get my cutter down this side. There we go. Okay. And I am going to miter my frame. Let's see. Make sure I've got these cut. Yes, they're going to be very nice. Very nice. And are they all the same thickness? No. This is way thicker. So, I don't know what I did. But it's way thicker, so I'm going to cut it down. Let's just get our... line that up. Put that there. And let's cut her down. I think you guys remember how I did this. I've done it a couple of times. There we go. Okay. Ba-bam. And bam. Now I believe the rest of these are in pretty good shape. All right. Music notes. That's the side I'm looking for. Is just all music notes. And I'm trying to figure out which way's up and which way's down. I guess if it's hard for me to figure out, it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? You feel me, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. Let me get my little piece out again. And we're going to match the corners up. So you make a box. And then we're going to cut Right like that. So this goes this way. See, the trick is you're not cutting off any of the length. And that's what you need to make sure you're very careful to do, is not cut off the length. So now I needed to cut these where they need to be. Let me put a little mark right here. And let's cut both of these. I'm just going to let that drop. So it'll be the exact same length. And it is right on a line, so I can cut it nice and straight. Voila! Très magnifique! And this one I am going to darken the mitered part. It will give you a different effect than if you don't. It's purely choice. I know I've got to cut some of this, I mean the bottom of this off, so I'm not gonna, but I just figured since I got it out. Now, so far that's that and that's that. And let's get this one done. And then we'll just have to worry about the cut edges. All right. Oh, good Lord. My poor son, he has been working, works in the food industry, so they've been staying pretty busy. So, but he gets home and we go, oh, you know what? I tell him if he would call us before he came home, he would be able to stay in town, but he doesn't. So that's his bad, right? Kids, I tell ya. I mean, he's 30, so he's not a kid, but he'll always be our kid. Always be our kid. Isn't that right? Now, this one is definitely a little bit too wide. And I don't want this to not work well, so I'm going to cut this little sliver off. Because it is pretty important that all four are the same. Okay. Re-ink this. Now let's put this one together. Little clip. Hold it together. All right. So there's that. Ink this up. Ink that up. Now we're going to do these. And remember, I did explain to you it was very important that you kept these in the order. If you get them mixed up, they are not cut right they won't cut right. Or they won't match up right because they're you're hand cutting them, so you're not getting the precise angle every single time. It's a different angle. So there's that and that. So I'm going to pull these out, put this here, because I am going to put this down and then put the frame around it. And I am basically just going to leave it. I just want to make sure that where I put it, that it's going to get covered up. So the top and bottom is not hard to figure out, but I'm going to put myself a pencil line right there. And I don't need to ink it because there we go. I don't need to ink it because the frame is going to cover up. I'm sorry if I get out of film. I'm so afraid of my camera dropping again that I have moved it further away, which means I am literally leaning over my table to get to my craft stuff. But I did tell my husband that maybe I need my birthday present early. They're going to figure out a way for me, my husband and my son are going to figure out a way for me to do this filming, but having the camera, see, when I go, I am actually filming you, oops, upside down and backwards. So when I put you onto the internet and I'm editing, I have to flip and reverse every video. And you know, sometimes for one video I make, there might be 20 little clips that are going inside that one video. So I've got to do that 20 times. You know, it's very maddening. And there we go. And when you put these on, when you measure this way to get your length, you have to make sure that that's the amount that you're leaving with your top piece. See, like, I need to pull that down just a little bit. And dang it, that glue dries so fast. Okay, I think I got it down a little bit, because this okay. All right, it's looking good. Looking good, peeps. But you can see, or I will show you once I'm done, since I inked the mitered cut, it gives it a different look and it's quite nice, but it also brings attention to those corners, so you need to make sure that you are able to get them right. Up. Just a second. Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to do just fine. There we go. All right. My little puppy was in having a little seizure. He is 19 and he gets around very well. He is blind. He loves to eat and snuggle, and his quality of life, other than, because I mean we pamper the bejeebies out of him. But other than the well, that's stuck, that's okay. We'll just, other than the seizures, which they don't want to give a medicine for because the older, what the heck is that? Oh, sorry guys. Making a mess. I thought it was a bug, but it wasn't. I'm not real keen on bugs. Oh goodness. Made a mess. All right. And then we're just going to lay this one down and match it right up. Oh, isn't it beautiful? All right. There we go. And there's our little framed picture. I love it. And, you know, you can put a photo right in here. You can put a couple of photos in here, or you can just leave that pretty and we'll have photo mats, you know, go down in here. You can do a photo mat, almost a whole 4x6 straight into this one. And then you're going to have lots of room in that one. So, like I said, we'll get to tags. I'll show you when I do my walkthrough. All right. Okay, and then this we're leaving blank, and we are done. We've got all 4 pages done. And I'm going to go ahead and pull these long ones out so I don't... We'll worry about those later. Okay, so now I need to figure out how big of a spine I'm going to have. So I'm just loosely going to put these together. I'm not squeezing them or anything like that. I'm just kind of loosely putting them together. I'm going to take my ruler. And I want to give myself a 1/2 inch in front and a 1/2 inch in back, and or at least a 1/4. So it's 3 1/4. But I think I really want it at 3. I really don't want to go over 3. That's a big spine. Let's see. What is this? This is 3 1/4. That's a big spine. I mean, when you put your hand around it, that's a big spine. Where are you? That's a big spine. I don't want to go that far. So I'll do 1/4 of an inch. Let me do it this way. I think I can. I'll do 1/4 of an inch. Do, 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 do. 3 inches. I'm not going to shove it, stuff it full, and shove it all in. I want it to be a nice thickness. So 3 inches. This piece, we're going to have to come up with something a little different, which is what I'm going to do, because I only made 1/2 inch gussets, which would only be 2 inches. And then that would give me a little bit on each side. If I were going to do it that way, that would give me, what, a 1/2 inch. But these are well beyond a 1/2 inch. So I will show you a way that we can do this without having to add more to this in order to, you know, get them to work. Anyway, so we're going to do a 3 inch spine, and a 3 inch spine is 7.6. Let me get a piece of paper here. So the spine, 3 inches or 7.6 centimeters. Now we have our page, and the pages are 8.5. And I like to have almost 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So I am going to do 8 7/8. So we've got 8 7/8. And I'll give you centimeters in just a minute. And don't forget, when you're measuring and you've got an extra piece for space, you've got to measure that as the length of your page. You don't measure this piece, your actual hinge that's going to attach to the spine, but you have to measure everything beyond that. And we are at, let's see if I can get down here, we are at basically 6 3/4. So it's not quite 6 3/4, it's 6 7/8. Okay, so I'm going to do 6 7/8. And this is the covers. And let me tell you, 6 7/8 is 17.4, and 8 7/8 is 22.5 centimeters. Okay, so you can pause it and write that down. Da 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 dee 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 dee. Okay. All right. So I am going to go ahead and get my chipboard. I have right here. It does not have to be black. That's just what I have. Because I knew it was going to be pretty large, and so I just went ahead and got the black. I am hopefully going to have enough gray to cover. That's what I've got 4 sheets left, and I've hoarded them. I've slapped my hand several times so that I know I cannot use those. I probably will have some left that I'll be able to use for tags or whatnots. And then I also have a piece of, I mean, you could even use the back of the, you know, it just needs to be maybe a little thicker than a really heavy cardstock. It just needs to have some thickness to it. And this actually, for me, doesn't quite, I would say if you had a lightweight chipboard, that is probably these two put together, maybe. I don't know. Not, it's even a little thicker than that. But if you have a lightweight or medium weight chipboard, this one is a thickness of a lightweight. It's a little more denser or durable, but it's the thickness, and the thickness is what I'm looking for here. Okay, so we are going to get what? See, I broke my T ruler. I mean, they're just plastic. I would love to find a metal one that's not an arm and a leg. Oh my gosh, I've got so many little tidbits in here, it's not even funny. And they're all miscombobulated. That's a good word, miscombobulated. Oh, goodness. I'll be glad to get rid of those long strippy things. Okay, so where did I put my... Here it is. I forgot already. Okay, so we're going to get one cover and a spine off of one, and then one cover off the other. So I am going to do 8 7/8 because that's what I need for the spine. So I'm going to make a mark 8 7/8. I'm going to do about 4 of them. And I cannot find, I might have it in my RV, but I'm not going to go out there. I cannot find my chipboard cutter. The one that I use for my chipboard. It's a rotary Fiskars, and it just cuts like butter. So I am going to use my craft knife and Timmy. So between the two of us, me and Timmy, we're going to get this done. Me and Timmy. I'm sure as a man, he probably doesn't like being called Timmy, but that's just my ruler. It's just my ruler. He has done very well for himself, and by all rights, he's very talented, and I love the stuff he comes up with, most of it. But you know, when you're going for a wide audience, you got to come up with different stuff. Big thing here is don't push real hard; it will cut, but don't let that ruler move. And I am almost through. There we go. Okay. And, well, that's exactly 3 inches right there. But then I'd have to cut it again, where I'll get my 6 7/8 out of this and can cut my 3-inch. So this will just keep for another day. Okay, so now I want to go 6 7/8. Make sure it's nice and straight. Make a mark. 6 7/8. Six 7/8. And 6 7/8. And that goes right up the edge. There we go. Okay. Voila. And now this one, we're going to measure 3 inches over and make a line. Okay. Now this I've never done before, so you guys are coming along with me. I'm just letting you know that. So you may want to watch the whole video the first time because I have not tried this out. I'm just trying something for the very first time. So just be aware. Now I am going to see if I cut this out. I'm just going to take my trusty pencil and I'm going to cut right to the inside of each one of the lines, because then that will get me the same height. If you cut above the line, then you're going to have the width of the line. I put this away like I thought I was done. Yeah, baby. I do have to have a front and a back. Okay, just making sure I didn't move it. This, I tell you, this cutter, his craft knife, is so much better than those little, I'd always use the little cheesy ones, and I thought, you know what, it's a cutter. It's, you know, it is what it is, and you break off the little sections, although I could never get that to do it, or I was petrified that it was going to fly and hurt somebody. So oh, I thought I was done. Let's see, get in the groove. There we go. All right, let's see how we did. Very nice. There we go. All right, so I'm going to write top, inside top, back top, inside back top, and back top. Because this is the way it goes together the best. They line up the best this way. So that's the way I'm going to do it. And I have this as well. Actually, it looks like, let's see. Let me get my little, I think this is for acrylic nails. There we go. Okay. It had a little nub on it or something. I took care of that puppy. Okay. Now we all know how to do a cover. So, whoops. Let me... Let me see. So it's going to have to go this way. And if I put two of them together, it's probably not going to be enough. So I think I'm going to have to put three together. But let's try it out and see. So, yeah. Definitely have to put... I wonder if I just add... Because if I do that, Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to add to the end of it. So, 1/4" score tape. Right on the edge. And this is going to give you, make it where you've got a straight line. Remember, do not stretch your score tape. There we go. Now that is going to give us a nice straight line so that my next piece of paper goes on nice and smooth. And you could get your paper, scoreboard out and do this. Or just line it up on the tape and burnish well down. Okay. And then I'm going to put one more down, and we will cut off what we don't need. And basically, if you want, you can use there we go. I just use the grid marks to double check that I'm getting it done correctly. All right, now in order to save time, oh, I'm sorry, I dropped you. I went back too fast. I am going to use my Xyron. Let me pick up my mic so you can hear me. You guys hit the floor, so I hope your head doesn't hurt. I need to dust this thing, good Lord. But that shows you I have not been using it lately. And I love this thing. You gotta help it along a little bit. There we go. Get that one all the way through. Put the next one in. And you'll feel it, it clumps. Because this is probably the thickest you can put in this thing. Oh, I didn't get it in the groove right. There we go. Well, it looks like I might be getting to the end of my well, why are you not cutting? Dad, burn it. I'll be right back. I love my Xyron machine. Okay. So you want to get just around the edge because that way the glue will go onto the plastic on the top that you don't need. Okay. I wasted a good bit right here. I hate that, but you know, sometimes it just can't be helped. I think, and then we're going to pull and all of the glue that didn't get used is now on that plastic. I love this thing. Okay. Now next I'm going to take, where'd I put my Timmy? I'd see I didn't put him where he belonged. Bad girl. And I am going to do, let's do 3/4 of an inch since I have the ability. And I'm going to draw my line. And I'm going to do that again. 3/4 of an inch. Up. Let me hold it steady. Oh, for heaven's sakes. It's there. So that gives me a line to feed these on. Now this is the top, inside, back. So that's not what I want. I want see, it's been a while since I've used this. Go ahead and burnish and get all of that on there. Now, that's a little better. Come on now. Yeah, this is getting a little old. I'm going to have to use that up and put in a new one. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to leave myself a good 3/4 of an inch. And actually, let's go ahead and put a little glue down where we don't have because I don't want pockets of air. And that will definitely leave some pockets of air. And if you don't have this, just put a bunch of glue down, or you can use score tape, or you can use your Scotch Quick Dry, your Scotch ATG gun. Because really, this is just not that, oops. Other than the bubbling, and I hate the bubbling. All right. Then we're going to make a mark at 1/4 of an inch in a couple spots, just so I can use it as a reference mark. And I do have this crease right here, but it's definitely going to be on the spine and not on the curve. And let me burnish this. All right. Now peel this up. A little bit of glue. line it up at the bottom. And there we go. Good job. And now we'll get our back. And this one is pretty solid all the way across, so I don't think I need to worry about that. Let me make a mark here for my 1/4 of an inch. So line this up on my mark. Where's the line? Right there. And there we go. Okay, so we're going to cut off the remaining, and that gives me a whole sheet and almost a whole sheet. I am very excited about that. So I'm going to give myself 3/4. No, that's half. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3/4 of an inch. All the way around. Oh. There's that piece. Yay! That is like gold around here. And I think for ease, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off at 3/4 as well. Okay. Okay, and that we're just going to throw away. All right. Now I think I'm all right putting that away. Okay, so now we're going to, actually, I'm going to first put tape down. I'm going to put score tape down. Now you don't have to start all the way at the end because you're going to cut that off. Do not stretch your score tape. And then put it on the end of your book. Okay. So you see what I'm doing. I'll be right back. Okay. So I want to show you, what next is. We went ahead and this is all the score tape I'm putting down right at the moment. Usually I put them down here, but then I have to peel it back to fold. So I just decided I'm just going to make it easy on myself and then put the score tape down here afterwards. So we are going to cut and leave a nice little smidge of paper there at the end so that just take those little kind of sort of triangles out of there. And let's start getting a little, you know, this is pretty thick paper. So I am going to go ahead and take a bone folder and get it started. There we go. Yeah, you can kind of see it in spots in the. Okay, so now we're just going to give it a little bit of a start. I'm just kind of going straight up, so it's like at a 90-degree angle to start off with, because this is thicker paper, so I'm going to take my time with it. Let's see. I'm going to do the long sides first. I prefer to do the long sides because I like having this coming over the top of the long sides, and then this gets covered up. So that's my thought on that situation. Okay. Now, I also take my glue and I put it on the end of, my little dog is leaving me a present with his hair. I am putting on right on the end of the chipboard. Come on, move. I got stuck on the tape. And normally I don't put it where the 1/4 inch skips are between the chipboard, but my tip got stuck on my tape. And so now we're just going to start. And the reason I put the glue there. See, now that is getting ready right where I have that split, where I have the paper put together. I'm getting a little split mark there. The glue in that spot, if you give it a second to kind of absorb into the paper, it softens that paper up enough where I do believe in my heart that it helps you to not get the splits. But you do have to give it a moment to work. I have a little spot right there. It got bundled up on me. All right, and then you want to run your bone folder over to get yourself a nice crisp edge. Some people like this, some people don't. So it's just a matter of which one you prefer. Okay, so there's that one done. And then we've got this one to do. Glue. Glue, please. So you don't really want to be sparing with the glue. Because of the dual purpose you're using it for. Mainly to let it soften that paper up in there. And as you saw, I like to start in the center and then move out one side and move out the other side. And then we're going to burnish this down. And I got a little split on this one. And if you're careful and you get some glue in that little area, and you can glue it down. Now most of the edges are all going to be covered, so you know but it's good to not split, because any kind of imperfection can come back to haunt you later on. You know, if you have that split there, it's cracked paper. Well, if it keeps cracking, you know, you're going to end up with a mess. And you're, you know, something coming up that's not supposed to. Okay, so now we're going to do the ends. But before, that little piece did not pop up out of there. You come here. Come to Mama. There we go. I am going to put some glue right where the bits of paper are that are going to come around and hide the corner of your spine. I feel like if you don't glue those down, they will eventually work their way back out with time and just, you know, the nature of the beast being used, dropped, whatever. So hence I glue them, and then I put glue on top of them just the way I did on the long sides, getting my glue right there. And then we're going to work it. You can help it a little bit. And let's just push. There we go. And I am pushing rather hard, so okay. Same thing here. Nice smooth edges. Terrific corners. Okay. Oh. Let's take the score tape backing off. Get that out of our way. Little glue in the corners. And now get the glue on top of the corner. Okay, here we go. Then we're going to bend this down. There we go. All right. And then we're going to flatten this up. And that's our basic cover. Thanks, guys. Be right back.